This is Library Nerds with Words, the podcast that gives you the word on all the cool, nerdy happenings at Peter White Public Library and the library universe beyond. From books and concerts to search engines and story times, the library nerds are in and ready to show you that being a nerd can be cool. Get ready, get set, get nerdy. Welcome back to Library Nerds with Words, the podcast where you get the word on all the cool things happening at Peter White Public Library and the library universe beyond, straight from the mouths of the people who know it best, library nerds. I'm Marty Achatz, the adult programming coordinator for Peter White Public Library, and joining me in Nerds Are Us today is Amanda Pierce, teen services coordinator for Peter White, and half of that popular movie nerd duo, Amanda and Ben. Welcome back to the podcast, Amanda.
Thanks for having me, Marty.
And, of course, I'm always happy to be able to sit down and talk nerd with you, Amanda. And now that we're about a month into the new year, things are starting to heat up at PWPL with winter reading and concerts and Media Smart, the community conversation in February. You might say that I promise you all kinds of fun in the coming months. Yes, that was a clue as to what Amanda will be talking about today. So don't swap this podcast for another one. There's another clue. We will address our topic for today very soon. I know, it's terrible.
You got the good puns going on there, Marty.
I do. I really do.
I appreciate it.
However, before we get into what is on your mind today, Amanda, you know we have to play another game of Word on the Nerd. You know how this goes. I'm going to ask you 3 library nerd questions about yourself, and you have to answer them for the listeners. So, Amanda, are you ready to play
Word on the Nerd?
Amanda, this is going to be a little game of Would You Rather. I'm going to ask you 3 Would You Rather questions, and you have to truthfully answer them for the listeners. And all of today's questions has something to do with fashion and style.
Okay.
All right. So, Amanda, here's your first question. Would you rather wear something covered in cat hair all day, or would you rather wear a stained shirt all day?
Been there, done that both, Marty.
I know. Which one is worse, though?
I don't think either's worse. It's one in one hair. I mean, I used to come to work covered in cat hair because of mangoes.
I remember that, yes. So
Used to have stains because small children would touch me.
You know, when you talk to moms, that's just normal, isn't it?
Oh,
so,
God.
So it doesn't really matter.
No, that
either
one. No.
Okay, that was an easy one for you. Okay. Well, as you know, the questions might get a little harder from here on out. I thought the first one was a little hard, but then thinking...
Have you met Isabel?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so here's your second question. Would you rather be dressed like Cher for a formal event, or would you rather be dressed like Miss Piggy for a formal event?
Cher,
sequins
hands down. The
and
sequins,
feathers,
the hair, the makeup, like that girl. On point.
Okay, but Miss Piggy's got some good style.
She does,
too.
but I think it's the big over the top.
That's what you want, Cher.
If I'm gonna have to dress up, give me the big over the top. All of her outfits were pretty iconic.
Yeah, and you make a statement when you walk into a room dressed like Cher. So okay. Yes. Well, okay, here's your last question. Maybe it's the hardest. I don't know. These have been pretty easy for you. Would you rather only have your hair in a style straight out of the 1960s, or would you rather only have your hair in a style straight out of the 1980s?
60s.
60s?
Yeah, I can't do the 80s and the big foofy hair.
And the big bangs and
No,
everything?
God, no, Marty, no. I was a child of the 90s where our parents put our hair in the 80s.
So, the 60s
The
then.
60s, well, yeah, it was really sleek, or it was a bob, and it was super cute.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can do the 60s hairstyle.
Wow, those were really easy
peeked.
for you. Oh, okay.
And I thought about it last night a little
All right.
bit, but I'm just no, these ones aren't hard.
Okay, all right. Well, darn, I thought I had you on.
No.
Okay. Well, there we are. We've come to the end of this fashion and style edition of Word on the Nerd, this time with Amanda Pierce, Teen Services Coordinator at Peter White Public Library. So now we turn our attention to another promising topic. Yes, that is another clue about Amanda's topic for today, and I promise that's the last one I'm going to do. So, Amanda, it is time for you to share the word. Amanda, what is on your mind today?
gonna talk about the prom dress swap.
Woo! Wah, wah, wah. I'll do what Andrea always says when I say something like wah 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 wah.
We need to get you little sound effect
I know,
buttons.
wouldn't that be cool?
It would be. No, we're gonna talk about our 3rd annual prom dress swap coming up. I think we talked about this.
I think we talked about it last year.
And I think we talked about the year before, too.
Yeah.
It was one of the very first Zoom ones that you had to do because of COVID.
Yep.
So for anybody who doesn't know, we started the process of the prom dress swap back in 2019, end of 2019 when I took over. Beginning of 2020, I went to Dickinson County Library because they do this as well. Shout out to Megan and all the girls over there who do theirs and showed me all like the tricks and tips, and then COVID shut us down a week later. So ours clearly didn't happen. So in 2022, we were finally able to have our first one, and we gave away about 10 dresses, and then last year we gave away about 40 dresses.
Wow.
And then this year, I'm hoping to give away even more.
Yeah.
We are collecting dresses in the teen zone. There's a rack which needs to be emptied and taken downstairs to the closet. And yeah, people can just drop off their dresses. We're asking for formal gowns and prom gowns specifically to be clean, that are cleaned and gently used. And then on Saturday, February 17th, we'll be hosting the prom dress swap here at the Peter Witt Public Library in the community room. Everything was sorted by sizes. We have we put up a little dressing area on the stage for you to change.
So people can try them on.
You can try them on. We use the kitchen space as well, and then the bathrooms obviously are available. It's just the way I set it up on the stage, you have more room for some of those bigger dresses.
Yeah, there's lots of
There's some floof
on some
There's
of them.
some floof on some. We have some ones with feathers this year. Lots of
wow.
sequins.
You know?
We have a little bit of everything from every decade, which is really cool because you never know what's going to be in style for prom. And it's really cool that some of these girls, they'll come in, they don't have to buy the dress. They get the dress for free, and then they change it up to make it fit them better. Tailor it, alter it, change it up, and then they have these beautiful prom dresses that they didn't pay much for, just for alterations.
Just think of how much money this saves people, like hundreds and hundreds
I remember
of dollars.
when I went to prom back in the early 2000s, I dropped, my one prom dress was like $150, and the other one was like $175.
And you know they're more expensive.
Yeah, and I remember my mom saying, I'll help you buy your junior prom one because she liked that one. But she did not like my senior prom one because the back was all open. But it was actually really high-necked.
So,
which was really funny.
So she didn't help you with the senior one.
Well, I mean, I'm like, you don't have to do that, Mom. Because, like, I saved my money up. Because, like, that was my thing. Like, I knew that prom was on me. Because we always went as a large group of friends. We didn't go as dates. I mean, I went with a group that did all have dates, but I'm like, it's not my cup of tea. I'm just going to go with all my friends. Yeah. And so I always just saved up for all my dresses. And yeah. Yeah. I mean, and I'm huge into thrifting. Anybody who knows me, Pack Rats is my jam. Like, I love going to Pack Rats. I find some really cool things in there sometimes. If you know what you're looking for, like most of my jumpsuits that I wear for the middle school dances, Pack Rats.
Wow.
I know, right?
Wow. And these dresses, I mean, they're beautiful dresses.
Yeah.
I've seen some of them that are coming in. So, I mean, and it's a free thing. I mean, why would you go out and spend hundreds of dollars on something when you can just come here and find something?
Yeah, and if you don't find something here, we're doing it early enough in February. Dickinson County usually has theirs in March. And
I think that they have one in the West End, too, maybe at Westwood or something.
Oh, do they have one now, too?
They used to. I'm not sure if they do still.
And this is open to anybody in the area. You do not have to be a patron of our library.
You don't even have to live in Marquette.
Yeah, you don't have to live in Marquette. You come in from Gwynn. You're coming from Munising.
You can come from Calumet. We don't care.
Yeah, just come visit.
Just come visit us.
And it's for students in grades 9 through 12. If you need a prom dress, please come.
Yeah.
And check it out and give these dresses a second home.
Yeah, it's really wonderful because you know what happens with prom dresses usually. In the past, they just get stuck in a closet and they stay there for decades.
I mean, I brought some of my formal gowns in from the early 2000s. And one of the girls took my one and she sent me pictures, and it was like really weird to see it be given a new life 20 years later after I wore it.
Yeah.
But that style's back.
Yeah.
That style of the dress was in, and then last year we saw some 90s dresses go out, and they were super cute on the girls and the way they styled them, and they showed me their pictures afterwards. I'm like, you guys look so good. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just amazing. And it's a great way to reuse something.
Yes. So it's not just collecting dust.
Right, exactly. It doesn't have to sit in a closet and then 20 years from now get thrown out or whatever and donated somewhere. So there you go. Give me the dates again for that prom dress swap.
Saturday, February 17th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. in the community room downstairs.
All right. So the Saturday after Valentine's Day.
Yep.
Come on in and pick up your prom dress for this year. All right. So that was the word from Amanda Pierce, Peter White Public Library's Teen Services Coordinator on PWPL's upcoming prom dress swap event. Oh.
Also, real quick, it's really great if you guys know any foreign exchange students, too. Because last year we had, like, a group of, like, 6 of them come in and all try on dresses because they can't take them back with them.
Right.
So this way they all got a
really
dress.
nice dresses.
Yes, they did. It was really funny watching them all, like, because it's such an American culture thing, prom is.
Yeah.
And watching them try on all these dresses. I mean, they were trying on everything. And it was so much fun.
Well, there you go. Yeah, invite your friends. If you know people that aren't going to be aware of this, let them know about it. But, before I let you leave the nerd runway, I need to find out what you have been reading that's good, Amanda, if anything.
Marty.
Something that has distracted you these first few weeks of January. So, what book would you recommend listeners pick up off the shelf? So, what have you been reading that's good, Amanda? Anything? Oh, she's got this look on her face.
And I've been reading some graphic novels, and I can't remember which ones. We just read one for the homeschool chapter book discussion group, which was really good. It was called Hoops.
Okay.
I have to look up who it's by, but it was set in the 70s in Indiana about a girl who really wanted to play basketball, but her school didn't have a girls' basketball team because, all that stuff.
Title IX wasn't really in place yet, so.
And so they started a girls' basketball team, and it was a struggle to get a team together, and the coach didn't even show up for the first couple practices because the school refused to pay her, and she wasn't showing up until she was paid, and then she showed up.
Yeah.
But it's the journey of this girls' team where they don't have jerseys because there's no money for them, and they go to the principal and ask for money. He's like, you win something, and we'll give you some money. And then throughout the book, like, the girls build friendships, and they eventually, like, they go to, like, the way it was back in the 70s, apparently, is, like, everybody went to state tournament, and then you would just get knocked out. Okay. Well, they end up going all the way.
Don't tell us if
I won't
they win.
tell you if they win or not, but they go all the way. But then, like, the track team steps up and it's like, we don't need our track suits right now, so you can have those for travel. And there's no money for a bus. So what does the coach do? She borrows her family member's RV, like this beat up old RV, and they put all the girls in the RV and they drive to the state to their games, and that's how they do it. And so it was a really good story, and the kids really liked it.
And it was called Hoops.
Hoops by...
Oh, we're checking.
Matt Tavares?
Matt Tavares.
Tavares?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not great with
We'll
that
check
name.
the notes. I'll look it up, and I'll put it in the notes for
the
episode.
It was really good. Because for that group, we're reading books from the Project Lit list. Okay. So we've got some really cool ones lined up for that.
Awesome.
The next one we're reading, I got to read it this weekend. Orphe's Ghost by Justina Ireland. It's about it's a historical fiction piece with a ghost story.
Oh, nice.
And the kids I like historical stories. And it's a juvenile fiction, so it should go really quick.
Awesome.
Then we picked the other one we're going to read is Healers of the Water Monster. It's an indigenous author's.
Oh, wow.
And it's talking, is it Navajo? I can't remember, but it sounded really cool, and the cover was really pretty, and like the idea of monsters and Native American history and heritage.
So you got some ghosts, you got some monsters, Native American mythology.
We got some Sealies coming up.
Oh, wow!
And then we're gonna read. What's the other one we're gonna read for that group? Dan Santat, who's a children's author.
Okay.
I think is how you pronounce his last name. You'd recognize his artwork. He's got a graphic memoir out about his life.
Okay.
Growing up in high school-ish.
Well, we'll hear more about that.
I'm actually reading something.
There you go. Well, congratulations.
It's just we're so busy, Marty.
You know, everybody gets so busy. I'm the same way. I mean, the only way I get reading done is in the car when I'm driving from place to place. I listen to stuff. That's what I have to do.
I don't even have time for that.
Okay, well, there you go. That is Amanda's recommendation of a book you should pick up off the shelf. And we have come to the end of this prom dress swap episode of Library Nerds with Words. I want to thank Amanda Pierce, Peter White Public Library's Teen Services Coordinator, for taking time out of her schedule to stop by Nerd Fashion Week. Never fear, we are planning to have another movie roundtable charcuterie board episode with Ben and Amanda very soon. It might have something to do with the Oscars. Maybe we're going to have to do an Oscar
I think we're going to have to
edition.
do it closer to the Oscars so we can talk about the films.
the films and everything like that.
Because I think we all have feelings.
Oh, we have big feelings. We're a little upset about Barbie's.
I mean, big feelings.
Big
I don't
feelings.
see why there couldn't be two women in the Best Director category.
Well, I mean, there could have been, but for some reason, Greta Gerwig didn't make the cut, which she should have. But
we'll get to that later.
That's the subject for another episode, because I know Ben has very strong feelings about this as well.
Yes.
So, come back next week when I will be joined by a first-time guest nerd, Emily Coots from the Circulation Department, and I believe she's going to be talking about adaptations of books that didn't need to be made. So, until that time, everyone, stay nerdy. Thank you for listening to Library Nerds with Words, Peter White Public Library's weekly podcast, giving you the word on what's cool at the library. The theme for the podcast is Happy Clappy by John Bartman, used courtesy of Pixabay. This episode was written and produced by Martin Acketts and sponsored by Peter White Public Library. Until next week, pick up a good book, listen to some good music, watch a good movie, attend a great event, and remember, library nerds are the coolest people around.